Hello Darts Nutz, I'm going to do a review of the new out Target Daytona Fire. This is the DF01 model, 22 grams. There's also a 21 gram version available, and there's three models, the DF01, 02 and 03, and there's also a soft tip version, the DF10, and these retail for £95, and they're a 95% tungsten dart with a titanium nitride coating. And as you can see, it comes in a very nice little box, and this kind of mirrors the Target Elysian darts that came out last year. The Elysians was a kind of a concept dart, and the technology that was in them is filtered down into the Daytona Fire range. Because they're a dart that takes quite a lot of machining to make, the initial stock is quite limited, so if you're desperate to get a set, you'll have to be quick, because I'm sure they're going to sell out fast. And the box is very similar to the one that came with the Target Elysians, but like I said, it's a little bit smaller than that. But inside you've got these little foam trays, just like it was on the Elysians, and underneath there's a little foam tray holding some extras. What you've got there is a pin badge, 3 sets of flight protectors, 2 sets of extra standard shape flights, and 2 sets of extra carbon tops for the stems. Now the carbon tops are for the new titanium carbon stems that Target have made, and what that is it has a little titanium section on the bottom, and the stem screws into that. All the stem tops that are made from carbon are the same length, but you can get different lengths of the titanium section, so that's how you determine whether you want a short, medium or whatever. And I seen these when I was at the Target launch, and I thought they were a really nice dart. I actually prefer these than what I did the Elysian, because I found the Elysian a little bit I don't know, it was a very smooth flying dart, but the grip was not quite right for me. It was kind of like a little bit hexagonal shape, whereas I think this is not quite as pronounced as that. It's still got elements of that, but it's a lot more comfortable in your grip, I think. So I actually think they've improved the design, to be honest. And as you can see on the barrel, it's got Daytona Fire, but that's milled into the barrel, and it's also coloured, and instead of being laser etched, so that's another nice touch. But like I say, it's an expensive dart, but you are getting something that takes a while to make, and it is very nicely presented and everything. But I know some people say, well, you don't need all the box and everything, but that's by the by. So I'll show you a close look of the dart. Okay, here's the close up, then I'll put the detailed picture with all the measurements. As you can see, it's fitted with a grooved storm point. It's got a very nice smooth transition to the nose of the barrel, and it's coated with a black titanium nitride coating, and this grip is called a trapezoidal prism grip, and it's within a tungsten cage, so that is the tungsten section, what you see in silver. And if you look closely, it's been kind of milled out. It's a bit hard to show you exactly, but goes right around the edge, kind of milled out. And like I said, this feels better than the Elysian. I think it feels actually more grippy as well. I don't know if it actually is, but I'm gonna have to get my Elysians back out and try. But it's a strange kind of a grip to describe. It's sort of like little square pimples, really. I wouldn't say it's a high level of grip, but it's probably maybe around about a high medium. And as you can see, it's got the Daytona milled into the middle there, and the grip continues up the barrel, and then just a small smooth section at the end of the barrel. And I think it's a lovely looking dart. It feels very nice in the fingers. Now I'm not sure whether the other models may be better for me as a front gripper, but I think there was only this one that you could try when I was at the launch, but a lot of people liked how it flew and that, so there's a lot of people quite keen on it. And these titanium stems has a little rubber o-ring to keep it secure, and that feels like there's virtually no weight in it at all. So screw that in there. So what the idea of these is, because carbon stems can be expensive, titanium's pretty strong, so it's going to be a low chance of breaking that, but you may break the carbon stems. So instead of having a full stem like that, you've got a shorter length, which in theory should be cheaper to replace than a full stem, but how it works in practice is another thing. But they do look nice, and they suit these Daytona Fire really well. And then you've got the Daytona Vision flights. Very nice design. So I'll just let you look at the barrel for a bit, then I'll put the detailed picture up with all the measurements. See how close I can get the dart to the camera. Give it a chance to focus. Okay, here's the detail. Dart's fitted with a 26mm gripper storm point. It's got a tapered nose to the barrel with a small smooth section at the front of 2mm before it gets into the trapezoidal grip section, which is 21mm. Then there's mostly a smooth section in the middle with the Daytona Fire logo, that's 4.3mm. Then there's another section of the trapezoidal grip, which is 20mm, and then there's a smooth section at the rear of 3mm. The overall length is 50mm and the width is 6.38mm. I'll just take some measurements along the barrel. It's going to be kind of hard to grab the nose because the storm point is on there, so I'll get it as near as I can. It says 50mm, 50.1, and it looks to me as if it's widest around the centre. It says 6.38. I'll just measure halfway up that next section. 624, 626. So that is the widest part in the middle where the Daytona Fire name is, 6.38, and obviously it tapers down very thin, about 4.1mm. Okay, I'll compare the barrels and see how they match. That one is 22.17 grams. 22.16. And 22.16. That's really pretty good, that. Especially with all that machining that's on the barrels. And the weight of the full setup is, as it's supplied, is 24.19, 24.17. Right, I'll just measure the target titanium stems, see what they weigh. That says 1.45, and these stems, well, this is a short nylon stem, so it's just a little bit bigger than that, and I'll just weigh that, see what that weighs. So it weighs just about half a gram more than that, but it is a little bit bigger, and it's also got the little rubber o-ring. Right, I'll just see if I can find the balance point. with nothing attached. It's probably just slightly front of centre, and with this applied setup, I'd say that's pretty much spot on the centre there. So that's the detailed look at the Daytona Fire DF01 22 gram. Let's give them a throw and see how they go. I don't believe it. I didn't even think that was in. 180. You don't see many of them from me, so cherish that. I forgot what I was going to say now. I was really surprised that went in, to be honest. But yeah, the grip is actually more grippy when you're throwing it than what I thought when I was just feeling the dart. Actually feels more grippy than it did on the Elysians. I don't know if it's because the barrel is a little bit thinner, but I definitely feel the grip more. And what I noticed from them throws was the dart seems to be zippy through the air. It was a little bit off-putting at first, because my throw is quite a gentle throw, and this seemed to be getting some oomph behind the dart, and I think it's just down to this grip. Whether it's going to be like that for everyone, I don't know, because I have quite deep fingerprint ridges and I can feel the edges of these little squares, so I'm really feeling it as I'm throwing it. But I'm surprised that it feels more grippy now that I'm throwing it than when I was just like feeling it in my fingers. I'm still not keen on gripper points though. I think sometimes they're a bit awkward to pull out the board, and I don't really need that gripped for my finger. I just don't like the way sometimes when they get stuck near a wire it's a little bit difficult to pull out. So, but I was just gripping it around there, pretty much just behind where it starts to taper, and apart from getting some spin, it seemed to be quite nicely balanced. The only thing with this dart is where the middle part is, it's mostly a smooth section, so I don't know, maybe middle grippers may not be too happy with that, but I'll try it from the middle anyway just to see what happens. The only thing with me gripping it in the middle is I'm kind of having to look, because it's not my natural grip, I'm having to place it exactly there. But was a little bit fishtaily there, but I'll have a couple of more throws. That was a little better actually, and quite a lot smoother in flight, and also got less spin there than when I was gripping it at the front. One more throw from the middle. I dare say if you're a middle gripper it's going to work a lot better than it is for me, obviously. But like I said, see how hard that is to get out when it's neither a wire. I am feeling some of the grip either side, so it could be worth a look for middle grippers. I mean, you do feel, it depends how big your fingers are I suppose, you do feel some of the grip either side of that smooth section. But it's quite nicely balanced there actually. Probably better than it was at the front, but I'm going to try that race section now, so I'm fully on where it's grippy again. strange as I should expect it to be. But considering I'm not a natural rear gripper, it's not flying too bad from there. Yeah, so definitely, because it's a straight barrel dart, like I often say, they tend to suit any kind of grip, but I was quite happy with the way it feels at the front. I think it feels best balanced there at the middle, but like I say, you're only getting some of the grip either side, and probably alright from the rear gripper's point of view as well, but like I say, the further I go from my natural grip, the more weird it feels for me. But that wasn't flying too bad considering it's not my natural throw from that position, so definitely I think worth a look. But what I like about the darts is they just feel really nice in the fingers, and I don't know, there's something about them. Now I prefer these a lot more than what I did the Elysian one. With the Elysian one, when I was gripping it, it was kind of turning sometimes in my fingers. It's not doing that with these. So these feel a lot better. Anyway, I'm just going to go back to my front grip. Well, that's the Daytona DF01 22 gram darts. A really nice dart, and what I noticed mostly is that it just feels effortless to throw the dart, and I think it's probably to do with the grip. It just, I don't know, it's one of them grips that's a little bit difficult to explain, but it kind of feels like little square pimples, but you can feel it as you're throwing forward, and it just seems to enhance the throw a little bit. But how long the grip will last is another thing altogether. I mean, obviously when the edges come off it'll probably feel a bit smoother, so maybe the dart won't throw as well when that happens, but we'll have to just see. The only thing I think I would change is, I'm not a big fan of gripper points. I think I would change them for a smooth point. I don't really know why they put gripper points on. I know some people may like that bit of grip for the finger, but I think they just ruin your board, to be honest. And sometimes when you get it right near the wire, it's quite hard to pull out. But really nice dart, and it probably suit any grip, whether it's a front, middle or rear. But like I said before, you're not getting as much of the nice grip in the middle. But it was nice to get a 180 with them. Don't often get a 180 with the first few throws, but what I used to do years ago, and I ever had a set where I got a 180 with in the first few throws, I'd keep them in the drawer and they'd be in my like special pile, and then I'd go back to them later. Sometimes I'd get another 180, sometimes I wouldn't, but I really like these. So that's the end of the review. Thanks for watching.